All right. Right now, we're about to talk to Miss Kiosha Archie, and we're going to ask her about her experiences, her feelings, and what she went through as a first-time mom with a child that is autistic or on the autistic spectrum. Um, so, Miss Archie, thank you for opening up and sharing your experience. First of all, what is the biggest misconception that people make about your child when they first see them?
So what they say, they may make a comment saying, "Oh, he doesn't look autistic." Wow, like you can't really even tell that he has autism, which is totally inappropriate comment, and it's ignorant comment to say such thing, that a child or a person doesn't look something. There's different levels of autism. My son was tested at a level 2. We found out that Eli had autism. I knew something was wrong. I knew something was wrong.
Okay.
And before we found out, I was taking him back to the doctor because I had, mind you, I'm a mother of 6. Eli is my 5th child. So I had 4 kids to compare him to. And I understand each child is different developmentally. Mm-hmm. So I understand that it may be delays in certain kids. But with Eli, he wasn't speaking. He was doing a lot of babbling. He wasn't saying his first words, mama or dad, any of that. So I knew something was going on. Mm-hmm. So I took him to the doctor, and the doctor was saying, "Oh yeah, he's just delayed. It happens. Give him time." Mm-hmm. So I took him to the doctor again. I'm like, "No, something is going on. I need for you to send him to a specialist, okay? I don't think my son can hear." And she was like, "What makes you think that?" I'm like, "Because he's not responding. He's not eye contact. I'm calling his name. He's not looking at me." And so I'm like, I need for you to give him a referral to a doctor. So my husband drove him about an hour and a half away to audiologist, okay? And they did hearing on him. At that time, we found out that Eli lost 30% of his hearing in his left ear.
Oh, wow.
And he lost about 22% in his right ear. They said that they were going to hurry up and do surgery on him because the fluid was so bad. And basically, they didn't want him to go deaf permanently, okay? Yeah. So what we did was they sent the information back to the doctor, and so they scheduled a surgery for him about a week later.
Mm-hmm. So give me your thoughts about the surgery. What happened? Tell us about that.
Okay, so he had his surgery 2021. Let's see. Yeah, it was 20. He had his surgery in February. And after the surgery, they said give it time, okay? They tested his hearing just to see. Still wasn't making any progress. So I just had to believe God, that God was going to restore his hearing. So I did everything that they needed to do. In the midst of this, I still felt that there was a delay. It was more than just his hearing. I went back to the same doctor, his doctor, and I said, "Hey, I think that Eli might be, I don't know," I said maybe a speech impairment, or maybe it's something. I don't know. At that time, I didn't know anything too much about autism.
Okay.
Because mind you, none of my kids I never went through this. So I told him, I said, "Well, let's just get him tested for autism." So the doctor sent them to a neurologist. And we went to Katy, Texas. It was called Think Autism Think,
mm-hmm,
something
mm-hmm,
like that. Mm-hmm. And so we went out there and they tested him. The test took, oh my God, they hooked him up to, how the EKG is, they put it in his head. Mm-hmm. I forgot the name of that testing. Mm-hmm. But so they did that, and it took a little while. We were in there for about 2.5 hours. We talked. It took a few weeks to get those results back, but how they tested him, they said that he was at a level 2. So I'm like, okay. So he said, so they explained to me, if they diagnose him with autism, it's going to be all in his files forever. Now, of course, I got kind of scared because I'm like, man, you're labeling him, and in a Christian community, which I'm brought up in the church, I'm like, oh my God, let's just pray about it. Let's do this. But I had to come to a realization, come on, I need to do what's best for my child. It's going to take, yes, prayer, but this is why God put the doctors here. This is why God put the specialists here to help us.
Okay, so I heard you, which was a great point, talk about prayer, but to just accept what it is to get assistance because God can heal him? Or did you go through any denial, or did you just say, okay, this is what it is and God can bring him through it? What was that process for you?
I wouldn't say I went through denial.
Okay.
I went through more emotional. It was more emotional for me because I said, oh my God, what did I do wrong when I was pregnant? It was more of, what did I do? It's my fault that my son is like this, because it didn't happen to any of the other children. And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to do whatever I need to do. Go ahead and label him. And so me and my husband, just go ahead and diagnose him with the autism, because that's what he had. And I'm going to believe God that God's going to deliver him out of this.
Okay.
I had to think like that, like God is going to deliver. Yeah, some of my family friends was like, oh girl, you don't want to label him, you don't want to this, but I needed to label him so he can get the special services that he needed, because I understand it's like, this is the only way it's going to help him. He's going to be able to see the best specialist. Me and my husband got him the top specialist, got him in ABA therapy, all about action behavior centers he went to. And I didn't have to pay anything. My insurance covered, and we was able to get a grant for the other. Mind you, he was 2 years old in that. Eli was not speaking. We thought that maybe he would never even be potty trained.
Wow.
He's 6 years old now. Eli's fully potty trained. Eli is beginning to speak more. Eli is able to do wording. You can tell him, you can spell a word for him, show him a word, he'll tell you what the word is. So him going to those specialists, speech specialists, behavior specialists, occupational specialists, it helped him.
Sis, we thank you so much for sharing your experience and being so open. We just have one more question, and that is, what strategies did your family employ to gain the measure of success you have within your family structure? And what tips would you give any families that are facing a new diagnosis?
Well, first, what we did, me and my husband was at that time both working full time. I knew that Eli needed more attention than the other children. Fully time, it's no way possible. I knew that both of us would have been able to work full time and also be able to take him to his therapy appointments. So first, one of us, we had to be committed, even though we're working together. So my husband, he came off his job. We actually had a support system. My parents always came in. They need to watch the others or help Eli, take him. We did whatever we needed to do. It's commitment. And when you know that your child has some type of disability, you have to be committed to get them, again, the help that they need and give them the attention. And this is why they don't come up out of, certain disabilities, or they don't get stronger, or they don't thrive even in that disability, is because us as parents, sometimes we feel like, oh, well, I gotta work, I gotta make this money. But it was either make this money or we make a sacrifice for our child. And that's what we did. My husband came off his job and he was able to take him to every therapy appointment. I worked until we got our business up off the ground, and thank God, now of us being, successful business owners, we are able to, continue on with Eli, his therapy, or even his speech therapy as well. Now, he's not in speech therapy 3 to 5 times a week like he used to be, because Eli has gotten better. But we see now, as they get older, that now sometimes they say, well, hey, he doesn't need any speech or behavior. But now, as he's getting older, some aggression may come with that. So they may have to go back into therapy more days, and that's what he's going to be starting now, behavior, just to show him how to deal with different things of coping, because he is being exposed to different things now, because he's older. Yeah. So I'm just going to say commitment, not being in denial, staying prayerful and faithful, and get you a support system.
Okay. All right. I know one thing we want to talk about, this is not a question, but just for you to share how important self-care is for any parent that has a child with any type of disability.
Yeah, self-care, oh my God, it's so important. I had to learn that, because I struggle. I juggle a lot of different things that you all may know. But one thing is just loving yourself. And especially when you're in a marriage, it's important for my husband and I to do self-care. Us with our child being, autistic, yeah, it's a lot. But my husband knows when I'm tired, and I know when he gets tired. We hold each other up in everything that we do. If it's too much, like if Eli's like overstimulating, because that's a lot of screaming. We went through those times, but we held on to each other. We prayed. We know that God is going to bring Eli, definitely out of this. We know that God is going to deliver him. And again, we trust God, but we also have to, sometimes me and my husband goes outside. Okay, his thing is outside. That's his self-care. Going outside in the backyard once the kids asleep. He plays on his phone, different games on his phone. Me, I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here. I'll do, maybe write some poetry or read a book, or even have a phone call. Me pouring it to others, to me, it's like a self-care for me. I have spa days. I love the spa. Everybody loves the spa.
Everybody.
So I'll take 3 hours. I'll go get a massage. I'll go to the spa, and then I'll come back home like it's like I'm here. Like what's next? I'm ready. But definitely, just if you and your husband, if you are married, just understanding the children, because it can get kind of crazy when you're autistic kids, and then you have grown kids. Mind you, we're a family of 8. Okay.
Wow.
So that's a lot.
Yeah.
So again, but we love all of them the same. Every last one of our kids, even the grown ones, they get attention. Every last one. So even though we're pouring our energy into Eli, but we also are pouring our attention to the other children, so they're not feeling left out.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I am going to do, I do want to just pray for the people that's just battling, or even some people are even just ashamed to come forward and stating that their child may have autism, or even denial. It's okay. So get whatever that you need, so you all can.
There you are. Do you need water? I shouldn't have told you. What do you need? Eli. What you want to eat? Want to eat something else? You want some grapes?
Bathroom.
Bathroom?